Snow drifted softly over Evergreen Hollow, settling on rooftops and whispering against the frosted windows of a small wooden house at the edge of town. Inside, 12-year-old Evan sat alone at the dining table, staring at the single candle flickering beside an empty chair. Every Christmas, his mother used to place this candle between them and smile as she carved tiny wooden angels for their tree. But this year the candle felt dimmer, the room colder and the empty chair heavier than anything he had ever known. His father, James, arrived home much later than usual, tired and dusted with factory soot. He tried to smile for his son, but his eyes gave away the truth. Grief had carved deep lines in his face, and the weight of keeping their lives together was crushing him. He placed a gentle hand on Evan's shoulder and whispered, "Your mom would have loved tonight's snow." But his voice cracked before he turned away. When the house grew quiet and the night deepened, Evan stepped outside to collect firewood. The cold stung his cheeks and the forest around him loomed dark and silent. But then, a faint golden shimmer flickered deep among the trees, warm and inviting like a forgotten lantern calling out to him. A soft voice, barely stronger than the wind, whispered, "If your heart is true, come find me." Without understanding why, Evan felt his feet moving toward the light, crunching through the snow as the whisper grew stronger. Wrapping around him like a strange, gentle pull, the forest opened into a clearing he had never seen before, and there, under a towering evergreen tree, stood an old man with a long white beard and a coat embroidered with tiny glowing stars. His lantern shone like a captured piece of the night sky. Evan's breath caught. He couldn't speak. The old man smiled, and the glow around him brightened, pushing the cold away. "You think I am Santa," he chuckled softly. "But I'm not. I am someone older, someone who hears the last wishes no one else hears." Evan felt his throat tighten, and before he could stop himself, the truth poured out. "I just want my dad to smile again. Even once, he works so hard. He never complains, but I can tell he's breaking inside. I just want him to be happy, even for one Christmas." The old man listened without interrupting, his warm eyes never leaving Evan's face. When the boy finished, the man rested a hand on his shoulder. "A pure wish," he whispered, "but every miracle has a price. Are you willing to give something in return?" Evan didn't ask what the price was. He simply nodded, because in that moment nothing mattered more than easing his father's pain. The lantern rose into the air and golden light flowed out of it like liquid stars. It poured across the snow, climbed into the branches, and surrounded Evan until he felt weightless and warm, as though summer had bloomed inside his chest. The forest dissolved into light, and in the next blink, he found himself back in his own bed, the faint smell of pine still clinging to him. For a moment, he wondered if everything had been a dream, until he heard laughter downstairs. Real, genuine laughter. He rushed down to find the living room glowing with warmth. The fireplace crackled and his father stood talking with the neighbors, smiling wider than Evan had seen in months. Their table overflowed with food: bread, warm stew, fruits, pastries, and more gifts than they had ever received. A neighbor called out, "Someone donated all this to the community, said it was for families in need." Another handed James a sealed envelope with enough money to get them through winter. James blinked in disbelief, eyes filling with grateful tears. He pulled Evan into a tight embrace. "I don't know how this happened," he whispered, "but I feel lighter, happier, like the world is giving us another chance." Evan tried to hide his smile as he glanced out the window. Far beyond the trees, deep in the forest, he spotted a faint golden glow. The old man, the lantern, watching quietly from afar. The glow flickered like a heartbeat, then slowly faded. Evan felt warmth inside him, not from the magic, but from the understanding that someone had given up a piece of their strength to grant his wish. That evening, while his father laughed with the neighbors, Evan walked back to the forest. The snow was undisturbed, soft and glowing faintly under the moon. He found the clearing again, though it looked different, quieter, gentler, almost fading from reality. The old man stood there, but his lantern was dimmer now, its glow reduced to a tiny, fragile light. "You came," he said softly. Evan nodded, tears forming without warning. "Thank you," Evan whispered. The old man smiled a weary smile. "True Christmas is not found in gifts," he said, placing something into Evan's palm, "but in the wishes we make for others." Evan looked down to find a small wooden star carved with delicate swirls. It was warm when he touched it, almost alive. When he lifted his head, the old man was gone, Not walked away, not vanished suddenly, but gently absorbed into the falling snow as though becoming one with the forest itself. Evan stood alone in the clearing, the wooden star glowing softly in his hand. When he returned home, his father was waiting at the door, worry turning to relief the moment he saw him. Evan tucked the wooden star into the top of their small Christmas tree. It didn't glow anymore, but somehow it still lit the entire room with a quiet beauty no electric bulb could match. That night the town celebrated together, sharing food, stories, and warmth like one big family. As Evan stood beside his father, he realized that his wish had given them more than just a happy Christmas. It had given them hope, unity, and a new beginning. And long after the snow melted, long after Christmas passed, Evan kept the wooden star by his bedside, not because it was magical, but because it reminded him that even the smallest, purest wish could change everything. And somewhere deep in the forest, where snow always fell a little brighter, the faint echo of a lantern's glow flickered on every Christmas Eve, waiting for the next true heart in need of one last Christmas wish.